Good blessed Friday morning, February the 23rd, 2024. It's about 6:40 a.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter whether you the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter if you my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. I greet all of you all with that same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. You see, there's people that don't like me, that hate me. It's a lot of blacks here in Southeast Missouri, especially Charleston, Missouri, that don't like me. There's some whites that don't like me. But vice versa, there's whites that like me, and there's blacks that like me. But all of y'all have a constitutional right to think and say as you please, as long as you do it in a peaceful manner. Today, what I want to talk about, I'm going to title these young brothers. The Sikeston, Missouri, Scott County, 19, who was arrested on February the 15th, 2024, in a roundup by the Sikeston, Missouri Police Department, the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Sheriff Department, the New Madrid County Sheriff Department, the Scott County Sheriff Department, the DEA, the ATF, the National Guards. They even said there was some EMS out there, Emergency Medical Service. But they was round up because, according to the chief of police in Sikeston, Missouri, he said that they are called the Knot Gang, the Knot Boys Gang. That's K-N-O-T Boys Gang. According to him on the news, he said they have been terrorizing Southeast Missouri for a long time. Now, y'all keep in mind everything that I just said and all the people. Now, they had the National Guards for these young 19. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind what is a long time. Because according to my research, these young brothers, I believe the oldest may be 25 years old. I could be wrong. But if that's the case, and the rest of them is less than 25 years old, that means they couldn't be terrorizing Southeast Missouri for 10 years or a decade. But now, what I want to tell the parents and friends, loved ones of these 19, you see, the Constitution tells us that a person is innocent until proven otherwise. I want to tell you something else. If you don't know your constitutional rights, even though, and there's no disrespect for anybody that don't violate black folks' constitutional rights, but anybody that is locked up or charged with something, you have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. That means keep your mouth closed. If they say what your name is, I plead the Fifth Amendment. Did you do this crime? I plead the Fifth Amendment. Or we can help you out if you tell on the rest of the 18. Keep your mouth shut. And let me tell you the history. They call these young guys a gang. Now, I'm going to tell you from personal experience. I'm going to go back to when I was about 20 years old in 1978 on July the 22nd, 1978. I want you to Google it up. I was living by force in Livingston County, Illinois, in what they call the Pontiac Correctional Center. The Pontiac Correctional Center was one of 4 of the most notorious prisons in the state of Illinois. You had Menard Correctional Center, you had Joliet Correctional Center, and you had Stateville Correctional Center. Now, Pontiac back then when I was in there, it was called the Thunderdome. But on this date, and listen to me because it's going to relate back to the Sikeston, Missouri, Scott County 19. You see, it was a riot that happened in the Pontiac Correctional Center. On that day, July the 22nd, 1978. At the time, a movie was out, Saturday Night Fever. And I believe it happened on a Saturday morning. Now, that riot that happened, Pontiac Correctional Center, I want you to let it know, it remind me of Southeast Missouri. And if the shoe fit wet, if you ain't racist, don't let it bother you, because I get along with some white, and black law enforcement officials that I know that's not racist, that I know that don't like what some of they code workers do. But let me tell you, it was so racist down there that on July the 22nd, 1978, a riot happened, and when the dust was settled, 3 Pontiac Correctional Center guards was killed, 2 others injured. All of them was white. You see, it was so racist down there, some people got sick and tired of being sick and tired. But you see, down there, it was real high rank, the highest ranking gang members or organization members down that in all the organizations that's in the United States. And this what they did. Law enforcement officials got 17 individuals, all the chiefs of different gangs. And they was called the Pontiac 17. Read up on it, Google up on it. Mothers and family members of the Sikeston, Missouri, Scott County 19. These brothers was arrested. Their attorneys got together. These brothers exercised their 5th Amendment right to remain silent. Now, you had one individual that was supposed to testify against the 17. But you see, the 17 lawyers, they had the case moved from Livingston County, a 99.99% white county, where blacks wasn't really allowed, or blacks didn't really live in that area unless they was in their penitentiary, the Pontiac Correctional Center. Follow me, y'all. Now, the case was moved to Cook County, Chicago, Illinois, Cook County. And at that Cook County jail, them brothers stood tall. Did not one of these individuals get convicted? You know why? Because the only reason they was charged was because they was gang chiefs. But see, these was gang chiefs that been locked up so long, they wasn't about what it was about on the street back then. You see what I'm saying? Because if they was, you would have riots every day in the penitentiary. But it wasn't. These guys had so much power that when it was disturbance in other penitentiaries, all they had to do is tell them individuals, peace be still. We got to live in this place. You see what I'm saying? It was a unity in there in all the rest of the penitentiaries in the state of Illinois. that the law enforcement officials just didn't like. I'm talking about the corrupted ones. But see, they was charged. Letting y'all know just because you charged, that don't mean you guilty. Now, let's go to the Central Park 5. Look at them being charged with raping a white woman jogger. But then, years later, an individual confessed it to them, and they had to let the Central Park 5 go. I can go on and on and on. But let me tell you this here. Do your research on John Blakely. He was a Sikeston, Missouri detective that got a black guy by the name of David Robertson from Sikeston, Missouri, convicted for, guess what? Killing another white woman like they did to Central Park 5. 18 years later, a white appellate court judge said John Blakely testimony should have been the least likely one to go by. His testimony shouldn't be considered trusted. He ain't considered trusted. The Sikeston, Missouri Police Department, the city manager, the city of Sikeston let John Blakely resign. Instead of putting charges against him, they let him resign. That means he can go somewhere else. He over here now. This was in 2000, y'all. And the case was overturned in 2018. David Robertson was freed. But now, John Blakely is working at the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Sheriff Department up under Brenton Farrow. The election is coming up this year, y'all. They trying to get re-elected now. That's why they gathering up these blacks. Let me see you gather up some of the white Ku Klux Klan skinheads, some of the corrupted police, but we ain't gonna stop there. Now, when they had that raid over there in Sikeston, Missouri on February the 15th, 2024, when they got y'all sons off the streets, they had two criminals from Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Sheriff Department, which was the sheriff, Brenton Farrow, and a convicted captain by the name of Barry Morgan was over there too, y'all. He knows some of the captains over there in Sikeston, Missouri. If they dealing with Barry Morgan, the Illinois convicted him, or he pled guilty to a battery, beating up on a suspect. They let him go with shooting at a suspect, and they got video showing him tasing a white guy, tasing him on his neck while he on the ground, and his sheriff, Brenton Farrow, twisting the guy's arm, saying, "I'll break your arm." If they do that to a white guy, imagine what they'll do to a black. In other words, y'all, no matter who don't help y'all, y'all put God first. Pray. I don't know what your sons was out there doing, but I don't think that they was a gang that was terrorizing Southeast Missouri. If they was, they would have been had them down. Them brothers y'all got to get some good lawyers that's going to stand with y'all, not none that going to sell you out. And everybody that's black is not on your side. If the NAACP and all these other individuals that call themselves civil rights leaders and justice for all leaders, if they ain't came to y'all now, you watch them when they come to your meetings. Because when Fred Hampton and Mark Clark, the Black Panthers, may they rest in peace, they would be alive now if they wouldn't have chose the wrong chief of security who gave the FBI and the Chicago Police Department they blueprint to kill them in Chicago, I believe on December the 4th, 1969. I'll be back again, y'all. Put your faith in God. And just because they arrested, that don't mean they're guilty. But we know Barry Morgan was guilty because he took a plea on January 11, 2023. He just got off of probation January 11, 2024. But he's a criminal. He was over there, y'all. What did they need the National Guards for? Take the National Guards to St. Louis where the mass murders in the most of the black neighborhood. Take them to Chicago, Illinois, and other places where there's mass murders. Let's round up some of these law enforcement officials that's crooked. And it's not all of y'all. I'm going to leave y'all with this here. A family that prays together stays together. Martin Luther King said it's going to be difficult days ahead. He said some of us going to lose our lives. Some of us going to lose our jobs. Some of us going to lose our freedoms fighting for this here. People been coming to me daily and said, watch your back, Raymond. I ain't got to watch my back. Because Psalms 23 tells me the whole thing. The Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. He laid me down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through this valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Because God is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. They prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. They anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You see, this old body wasn't made to be here forever. If they took my life, they couldn't take nothing that God wouldn't allow them to take. My two daughters, God done allowed me to see them to get going on 18 and 19 years old. That's what I prayed for. When you take this here body, I guarantee you one thing. The saints in God will say, welcome home. Peace be still.